Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. On 15th of April, Atiq Ahmed and his brother Asad Ahmed were murdered by three assassins, three young men. Atiq and Asad were being taken for their medical test by the Uttar Pradesh police. 2 days back, that is 13th of April, Asad Ahmed and one of his accomplices, Ghulam Muhammad, were killed by the police. They were encountered by the police. So in 2 days, 4 people died. 2 were killed by the police and 2 were killed by assassins. Let's talk about this. Let's get right into the show. So like I said, let's divide our today's editorial into three different parts. Okay. Part number 1, let us talk about what happened to Atiq Ahmed and his brother Asad Ahmed. Then let's talk about what is encounter. Let's get some legal perspective in place to understand what is encounter. And then let us discuss the topic of today, or rather the question of today, whether encounter should be promoted, whether we should allow such encounters. So let's discuss these 3 facts. Okay, let's start with what happened to Atiq. Now, Atiq Ahmed and his brother Asad was murdered while they were being taken to this hospital called Colvin Hospital for medical checkup. They were in police custody. They were in the custody of Prayagraj police. We all know it. They were actually answering media. They were going to answer media, and that is when some 3 men called Lavish Tiwari, Arun Maurya and Sunny Singh came and shot them. They shot them and then they surrendered to the police, and they were carrying very sophisticated weapons and so on and so forth. They were sophisticated pistols, so on and so forth. Expensive, sophisticated pistol. Just 2 days before that, Atiq Ahmed's son, Asad Ahmed, and one of his accomplices, Muhammad Ghulam, was shot dead, 13th of April. They were shot dead by the cops. They were encountered by the cops. 13th April, son was killed in an encounter. 15th April, father was killed by assassins. Okay, now let's understand Atiq Ahmed. Was he a good man? Was he a pious man? Was he a man who was completely, clean and no offense and all? No. There were he was accused for a lot of things. He has been behind bars and so on and so forth. So he is a known criminal. He is a don. No doubt about it. In fact, Atiq Ahmed was charged with the homicide of Umesh Pal. Umesh Pal was a crucial witness in the 2005 murder case of Bahujan Samaj Party leader Raju Pal, who was assassinated, and the accused for this assassination, that is Raju Pal's assassination, was also Atiq Ahmed. So Atiq Ahmed koi doodh ka dhula nahi tha, correct hai. He was also a don. There is no doubt about it. His son, this man, Asad Ahmed, was seen threatening cops, was seen abusing cops in a viral video. So he too went his father's way. He too was not a pious man or something. He was also a don. So therefore, a lot of people say that theek hai yaar, a don was killed. Big deal. Why are we making such a hullabulla about it? Okay. Now before I get into what people say and what we believe, let me give you some few fundas about encounter in India. theek hai na? This word encounter was made popular by India actually. The word encounter became popular in the late 20th century in India. And it seems that encounters was used in cities including Mumbai, Chennai, Kolkata and Ghaziabad in the initial days. All these cities used encounter, and of course, the first encounter of the country dates back to 1982 when 37-year-old gangster, popularly known as Manya Surve, in Mumbai, was killed on 11th of January 1982. So Manya Surve is the first official encounter killing by Mumbai police in Maharashtra in India. That's when this entire process started. Now let me also give you some interesting facts. I will give you the legal opinion about encounter. I'll give you the legal guidelines, the Supreme Court guidelines on encounter. The Supreme Court of India says that the police force has the right to injure or kill a criminal for the sole and the only purpose of self-defense, or where it is eminently necessary for the maintenance of peace and order. However, the court says nothing must be done to settle personal feuds. This is what the court's view is. In fact, if you actually look at it from a legal framework, there is no provision in Indian law that directly authorizes the encounters of criminals. There is absolutely no law that says that. However, there is a certain enabling provision which can be interpreted differently to vest police officers with certain power to deal with criminals. The interesting part of it is, there is no, like I said before, there's no law. But the interesting part of it is, there are certain provision, but this provision is not just for the police officer. This provision, some of them, is true for common people like you and me also. Because the right to protect our life, in fact, I will take you through it. In almost all cases where an encounter has taken place, it is done for self-defense of the police officer. Now, point number 2, which is the most important point, under section 96 of the Indian Penal Code, every human being has the right to private defense, which is natural and an inherent right. You and I also have this right to defend ourselves. It is a right of a citizen for private defense, which is also there for the police officers. Now, similar section 100 of IPC, exception of section 300 of IPC, section 46 of the Code of Criminal Procedures, that is CRPC, etc., lays down similar provisions with regards to investigation in extrajudicial killing and case of culpable homicide. So there are sections that also investigates on extrajudicial killing. So this is broadly what the Supreme Court guidelines is on encounter. So we heard about what happened to Atiq Ahmed. We heard about what encounter is and what is the Supreme Court's view on this. Supreme Court's view is very clear. Let me just conclude that part of it. Supreme Court is very clear. Baba, you want to defend yourself. You're a police officer. You want to defend yourself. Of course, you should defend yourself. Your life is equally important like anybody else's. So to save your life, you can use whatever means. Number 1. Number 2. They say that if there is an imminent danger, if the society is an imminent danger and you need to use force to stop that danger, then you are open to use it. This is what the Supreme Court says, which is a very generalistic understanding. Supreme Court also says that you can't use it for your personal benefits. This is also what Supreme Court says, and Supreme Court says that, there is no specific law that says under section 142 or 132 or 129 or whatever it is, under so-and-so section, you can take the gun and shoot somebody. The Supreme Court doesn't say that. There is no such guideline. So there is no rule that actually allows encounters. It is basically taking one rule and interpreting it. So now we understood rule. Now let's get into this debate of, is encounter right? I come from the city of Mumbai. Therefore, I have seen encounter. I've seen encounter in Mumbai. Like I said, the first encounter that happened was in 1982 in Mumbai. The thing is, a civil society rests on 3 factors to give justice. There are 3 independent bodies that are functioning, one to create law, one to ensure that the investigation is done, and one to ensure that the law is executed properly. There are 3 independent bodies working towards providing you justice. That's fair. That's fair. Now, what happens if you completely remove the judiciary out? The person who investigates, if he thinks you are guilty, if he is given the right to pick up the gun and shoot you, kill you, where is justice? Mind you, I had said that before while I was talking, I told you, a lot of cases that are put in front of the judiciary finds them not guilty and they release the accused. Some of them are genuinely not guilty. Some of them there is no evidence. But then the accused gets his justice in court. That's what the court system is. 1,000 criminals get set free, 1,000 guilty can be set free, but one not guilty should not be punished. That's what the court is. And that's what a civil society is based on. Somewhere down the line, if you disregard court, that sheer essence of justice gets destroyed. And that's the point I want to make here today. Number one. Number two, the court goes by certain laws, certain IPCs, CRPCs, they go by certain laws which are prescribed in the book. They go by certain procedures where the lawmakers makes the law, puts it as a bill, the bill is passed in the parliament, then the parliament converts it into an act, and then it goes into law, and then it is executed. There is a process that takes place. Imagine if all that is gone and the cop is given a gun and he can just shoot because mere ko nahi acha lagta hai, I think he's a robber, and doom, shoot. What happens then? Is that the society one wants to live? Vigilantism looks good. Vigilantism also makes people happy because there is instant justice. As human beings, we feel very excited when there is vigilantism. Aise hona chahiye tha. Good. Good. You see, I was injured during the Mumbai bomb blast in 1993. Me and my wife, both of us, were injured during the Mumbai bomb blast. And the thing was, at that point in time, every person whose name appeared in newspaper who got involved in the bomb blast, hearts of hearts, I also felt these people should be shot dead, killed. I also felt that. So did my wife. Both of us felt. Because we thought, at that point in time, we wanted justice, and that would be justice for us. But today, when I think of it, I'm happy that the government of India took them to court. I'm happy that they got their day in court. I'm happy some of them were let out free. I'm happy because at least there was a process of law that followed. I was living in a civil society. That point in time, I was angry. But then, for the longer run of our country, for the longer run, for the larger interest of our country, for the larger interest of our society, today, I think that it is good that each of those culprits were taken to the court, they were given their day in court, they proved to be guilty, they proved to be not guilty, guilty got punished, non-guilty got released. I'm happy. Vigilantism will create problems for this country. And I will tell you why. Those three people, those three young guys who killed Atiq Ahmed and his brother, Lavish Tiwari, Arun Moria and Sunny Singh, they were doing because they were vigilantes. They thought that they were doing the right thing by killing that guy, because in their minds, Atiq Ahmed, to the best of my knowledge, Atiq Ahmed had nothing to do with those guys. Those guys had nothing to do with Atiq Ahmed. But they were doing it in their minds for the good of the society. Imagine if every youth, 23-year-old, 22-year-old youth started buying guns and shooting people, whoever they thought that, were doing wrong to the society, or every don or every criminal they started killing. What happens? And where are they getting these inspirations from? The inspiration comes from the society and the thinking of the society. Because if the society starts thinking that, okay, he was shot, no, good, very good. There was encountered, no, very good. These young guys would say, okay, theek hai. So that means shooting somebody just because you think he is doing wrong, law baad mein dekh lega. In fact, they also go out to say that, arey, law mein kya hai, wo time lagta hai, chhoot jata hai, bail milta hai, and so on and so forth. All these pictures are created, and you start taking a gun and shooting people. Is that what you want to see this country to be? Is that what you think India should be? Ask yourself this question. Ask yourself this question, and possibly you will get your answer. Till I see you next time, that is tomorrow at 10 p.m. Namaskar.